it's taken me a long time to get up here, but about 2 weeks ago I was here, and if anybody was here about 2 weeks ago, I can sum up exactly why I got the balls to get up here on stage and talk in front of all you people. And that term is Z-Man. Does anybody remember Z-Man? Anybody was here? Yes. Well, I didn't bring a box of goodies like Z-Man. But I realized, seeing him up here, that if you're in your 40s, you can get on stage and make a total ass out of yourself, and people hopefully will laugh at you. I'm 42 years old, and I'm married. I have 3 girls. And along with the first of being on stage, today was the first day of kindergarten for my little girl. I called her later during the day, and I said, honey, how'd your first day of school go? And she said, Daddy, it was awesome. I said, that's great, that's great, it was awesome. I said, when I get home from work, she's in the bathroom crying her eyes out. And I look at my wife and I'm like, what the hell is her problem? Why is she crying? Apparently she is afraid to pee in the potty now because there are mermaids in the toilet. This girl has peed on her own since she was 2.5, and now one day in kindergarten and she's afraid of mermaids. I don't understand what they do in kindergarten anymore. I do have let me get my notebook out so I know what I'm doing. I'm hoping that tonight goes a lot better as a first time than my first marriage. Because I'm currently on my second one, and that's going pretty fucking strong, 10 years. The bad and the most painful part of my first marriage was the divorce, and going through the court system in Montgomery County is just the greatest. And every single time my ex-wife would cry, it seemed that the judge would just wipe her tears away with my fucking checkbook. As I said, I have 3 girls, and my oldest just recently turned 13, and not that it's anybody's fucking business here, but she just made her passageway into motherhood. And God have mercy, last Thursday night in my house, my wife and my 13-year-old daughter were both PMSing. And holy shit, I could not imagine. I literally just didn't even know what to say. I just sat back and watched them, and she was crying at 13 because she didn't know what was happening to her, and my wife was bitching and complaining about something I had apparently forgotten to do, which I always do. That's just the way I am. I listen with half an ear all the time. But it was brutal. And then the 2 little ones started to cry, which I was like, why are they crying? I don't understand why they're crying. They're not even PMSing, and they're crying because their mom and their older sister are crying. I have an 8-year-old who believes she is the most sparkly, sassy thing in the world. She will dress up and lipstick and nail polish, and we often sit and look at our daughters and we think to ourselves, what are they going to be like when they grow up? And our 13-year-old is going to be very strong-willed and very, if a boy goes to open the door, she's going to be like, no, that's my door, I'm going to open it, back off. My 8-year-old is the girl that will come home with her shirt on backwards, and when she walks in the door, I say, your shirt was the other way when you left. Oh, really? And then we get down to our 5-year-old. This is a 5-year-old who started this morning in kindergarten, has the uncanny ability to pick both nostrils at the same time while sitting in the pew at church and then eat it in front of everybody. I admit that I pick my nose time to time, and I admit that probably when I was 5, I probably ate it because it's full of salt and it tastes great. But, to watch her pull something from her nose that's almost 6 inches long and then putting it in her mouth to eat it, it was actually quite amazing. I wish I would have videotaped it and got a chance to watch it later. Also with our 5-year-old, she just recently started playing soccer. I got the ability to be a co-coach for her team. Part of the training and the paperwork you had to go through was to go through a concussion class, which, because of my demented mind and the way I think, made me think about something that had absolutely nothing to do with soccer or childhood concussion or what might be happening in concussion states, but made me think about if you are a grown male and you are having impotency problems. There's this magical drug that is supposed to help with ED. Well, my theory is that if you masturbate a lot and you're banging that little head of yours around, there is a little brain in there because it helps us males think for ourselves, correct? Guys, it helps us think, right? Well, if you bang it around too much, is it possible to have a penile concussion? And is there medication that will take care of penile concussions? Or maybe it is a way that when your wife is feeling a little frisky on a Friday night, you just, instead of saying, you know, I have a headache, honey, I'm really not in the mood, you can just blame it on a penile concussion. One last story before I go. I work part-time. I'm a chef, and I work part-time at a local country club for extra cash because we all need cash. There happens to be this little waitress. She's very naive and very young. She comes up one night and tells us all the story about her big burly boyfriend that she got to watch Dirty Dancing with. If anybody grew up and knew Dirty Dancing, the movie, she said, I got him to watch it, and she said, we're all like, that's fucking great, who really cares? She said, yeah, but I told him that I would take my shirt off and he would watch Dirty Dancing with me. I looked at her and said, are you fucking 12 years old? I said, let me tell you something, sweetie. Your tits suck, but you have a great ass. And if you took your pants off and wore those panties, I would watch any fucking movie you wanted me to. Thanks, everybody.